he had an incredible life. He was a gifted athlete. I think he could have done a lot of things. He was, I don't know if you knew this, but he was really good at and fearless at the high diving at the baths, as he called them, the Wigan baths. And he had no problem going up to the Olympic, the highest one, and he would do probably a jackknife. I don't know, maybe a twist, but uh, I was just so impressed that he could go up to the top and then just not a. I guess they don't want a big splash when you land. That's part of the perfection of it, and he could do it with very little fuss. He was just fearless. He did bungee jumping, and when he did the bungee jump, that was in Florida. There was a bunch of wrestlers, Mike Rotundo and Brett, and there was a whole bunch. They were doing some kind of event at Busch Gardens and in Tampa, and they had this bungee crane set up, and everyone's like, well, you go up and do it. Well, you go up and do it. But anyway, when Davey did, he did go up, and he said it was like, but at the same time, he just dove off like he was like, he had his toes pointed, his arms were kind of to his side, and his fingers were straight. Like his form was just naturally appropriate for a dive, an air dive or water dive, and he was quick. So he could have done rugby league. That's what he always called it, rugby league, or British soccer, British football. I imagine if he had been in the United States, he could have done American football or Canadian football. And I don't know if you knew this either, Ben, just talking about how multifaceted Davey was athletically. He was approached in 88, later 87. Well, it was for the 88 Olympic Games in and they were being held in Calgary in the Winter Games. And he was approached to do the luge because he was so quick and powerful. And they said, would you want to try out for it? And yeah, that was the year that they had it was a funny Olympics. They had the Jamaican bobsled team, and they also had the Eddie the Eagle. They were both
cool runnings and Eddie the Eagle, yeah.
Athletes or athletic teams at that in '88. But Davey was asked. It was, I think if it hadn't required so much time, he might have done it. But kind of like Harry, he was asked by Billy Robinson if he would consider entering or competing, trying to qualify for the Olympics for amateur wrestling. And then Billy died, but Harry was considering it, even though he was, not on a team or anything, but he had that much potential. And that's kind of like, I'm sure it was well, I don't know. I wouldn't say it was a better fit for Harry in amateur wrestling than Davey and the luge or I don't know. Maybe I'm getting the luge and the bobsled mixed up. But when you go in and it's really fast, terrifying. But he had all the, regardless if it was the luge or the bobsled, he had the speed, the strength, the fearlessness, the attitude. He would have. So he would have been. He was a really good athlete, and I think it was genetic. As the Billingtons and the Smiths, or from what I've seen with the kids, Davey's cousins and their kids, so the nieces and nephews. So it's just a good genetics there.